Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. How are you guys doing? Listen, if you guys are not following my mother on Clubhouse, I think it's time for you to go and follow, because we have some really great discussions that's going to help you in the process of recovering from narcissist abuse. It's called effective communication. Go look. It's called Destiny Helper House. But she does a series of effective communication, and we deal a lot with narcissists and the recovery from narcissists with some really amazing professionals. But we had a conversation today, and I don't know when you're going to get this video, but we had a conversation today where we were talking about Russian roulette with a narcissist. Does he or she love me, or does she not? One of the biggest things you have to understand about Russian roulette is what? It is a game of chance. It's a dangerous game of chance. And living in this time and in this era, you have to date with a purpose. You have to date, and you cannot date with emotions, because love is not about emotions. It's about making a choice. And many people deal with cognitive dissonance, and I talk about it all the time, and I talk about it, and I use the analogy of smoking. You know that smoking causes cancer. It says it on the box. You see people that have suffered and died from lung cancer. I don't know if it was Humphrey Bogart. No, not Humphrey Bogart. It was the guy that played the King and I can't think, Yul Brynner. And he did a lot of commercials. He talked about the fact that he smoked for many years, and he pleaded with people to please stop smoking. You see the trach, you see the oxygen tank, you see the effects of what smoking can do to people. And then you have the other side, which is the emotional side. And emotions are very powerful. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, a lot of times people are in cognitive dissonance. There's two opposing opinions that are causing you, intense emotional turmoil on the inside, where you're struggling with, I know the facts about this individual. They have shown me who they were, who they are. And yet I still struggle with, the emotional aspect of, the what I think love is. They make me feel. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so you come up with a solution, and the solution is I'm going to do this. I'm going to give them this chance. And if this doesn't happen, and I'm not going to smoke a whole pack of cigarettes, I'm just going to do 5 until I can wean myself off. So you're trying to trick your own self into, sorry about that hair. You're trying to trick your own self into believing that something is going to change with that narcissist. And you try to trick yourself into believing that if I do this, this is going to happen, to appease or to calm down that turmoil on the inside. You come up with your own solution, and there's only a positive or negative reaction you're going to get out of that. Either you're going to keep on being strung along by this narcissist and you have the facts right in front of you, or you keep getting caught up in your emotions. You keep being held hostage by this narcissist. You have to remember that a narcissist lives in their own little delusional world. They create their own little world. A lot of them create their own drama, and then they make sure they put you in a position where they're the only ones that can answer that question or give you resolve to that, because they want to be in total control of you. And remember, I was talking about on another video, I was telling you about, the 3 major strategies that they use. And that is to manipulate, dominate, and to control. That is their whole thing. Manipulate, dominate, control, and they'll do it any way they possibly can. And they pull you into their little upside down world. You look through the lenses, you project through the lenses of your sane mind, whatever we call sane. You're looking through the lenses of a disordered mind. A person that has narcissistic personality disorder, or is a psychopath, or Machiavelli, I think that was correct. The dark triad, you're dealing with a person that is they have a character flaw. They have a personality disorder, and a lot of that may also be rooted in neurobiology. But you're trying to look through your eyes. Well, I can't understand why, and why would they do something like this? I wouldn't do nothing like that. It's because you're looking at them through your lenses, and they don't think the way that you think. They have disordered and disorganized thinking, and yet they're very strategic in what they do. And one thing that they want to do is the process is to manipulate, dominate, control. And they look for your weaknesses in order to get into it. So your weaknesses could be pride, vanity, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard. A lot of that pride is just another form of fear. And they tap into those weak areas where they think is weak areas for you. They tap into those areas. And then they begin that process. It's that process it's like cult leaders, the process of programming you. They program you into believing their lies. They program you into believing they want something from you. So they'll say anything they can possibly say to pull you into their world, to make you conform to their thoughts, their reasons. And then they either is a positive and negative reinforcement. They positively reinforce what they want. When you comply with what they want, and they pull you into isolation, they pull you away from resources, they pull you away from people of reason and people that can help you, that have resources, and those people that don't fall for their manipulation, they pull you and isolate you, and then they reward you with what it is that you desperately want: attention, time, you want affirmation, confirmation, love, so they it's like they breadcrumb you, and they give you pieces and parts of what you so desperately want. This is how dealers, pharmaceutical dealers, street dealers, this is how they get people addicted, is they breadcrumb you. They give you just enough to get you addicted. And then they start this cycle. Remember the narcissist cycle? They start this cycle, and what is it? Idealization, and then is devaluation, and then is discard, and then is hoovering, and then is love bombing, and then is idealization again. This is the whole life cycle of being in a situationship with a narcissist. And then you ask yourself, you live a life of, do they love me or do they not love me? It's that Russian roulette. It's that constant cycle of do they or do they not. And their love is conditional. As long as black or white thinking, their love is conditional. So as long as you're doing what they want you to do, they're going to reward you with the affection or the attention that you want. And they grow bored very easily. And the moment you stop doing what they want, then they give you that negative reinforcement. So they get you back into compliance. I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to ghost you. I'm not going to give you attention. I probably won't even give you food. I may even become hostile. So I would threaten to do harm. I'll threaten to take away something that you so desire. I'll threaten to take something away from you, whether it's your children, your pets, your money, your household, your livelihood. I would threaten you to force you into compliance, to force you into obedience, to force you to do and to comply with what, and people live out of fear. And so you live out of fear, giving that narcissist what they're demanding of you. But what you don't understand is, I don't care how hostile they are, but the thing about them on the inside, they're weak. And when you have enough, when you build up enough strength, you start getting into your superpower. When that fog starts to fade, all of a sudden you begin to, I did a video, I didn't say very much. I just said, when that fog lifts and you recognize your superpower or your superpowers, sometimes you're trying to pinpoint what is your superpower. Sometimes you do not have the words to articulate your superpower yet. You just begin to feel your superpowers coming back. It's like Samson and Delilah, the biblical story. What they didn't think, they gouged his eyes out and they cut his hair, because his strength lies in his hair because he was a Nazarene. And what they didn't expect, and what that narcissist does not expect, is that your hair will start growing back and your strength will start coming back. And they begin to notice some things changing about you, where you start beginning to have strength. And you can't pinpoint it, but one day you wake up and all of a sudden that superpower has come back. The fog has lifted and you can finally see. And for some of you, you feel almost ashamed. I cannot believe that I was being held hostage by this narcissist, because your super strength has come back. And sometimes you can't articulate what it is. You just feel your strength coming back. Because one of the things that the narcissist does, they use fear in order to maintain control. That is their, remember the positive and negative reinforcement? That negative reinforcement is using fear to keep you in compliance and to keep a stronghold of you, to keep control of you. Fear, that's the biggest thing. Remember, you are a superhero. Wake up.